Okay, so starting with the part one, there may only be one part, low pressure notes. You'll see the picture over here is a picture of an eardrum. Here's the eardrum. The pressure on one side is different than the pressure on the other side, and that's what makes your ears hurt when you're in an airplane or driving in the mountains. This says air pressure that affects weather is similar to the pressure that makes your ears pop. When your ears pop, there is more air pushing on the inside of your eardrum than the outside. When you yawn or chew gum, some of the air pressing inside your head gets released, releasing some of the pressure. Some people also plug their nose and blow out for some immediate relief. But really it's because the pressure inside your body is used to where you usually are. And then you get in an airplane and you quickly go up to different pressure, and that means the pressure outside your body is different than the pressure inside your body. So by sneezing or yawning or whatever, you're trying to equalize that. Okay. And then it says air pressure. Something's backwards. I got something backwards on here, so I'm going to do this one first because it's actually first on your notes. It is important to note that the jet stream, the pattern that air moves across the earth, can also affect where weather goes. So the jet stream is a pattern of air that it's in a wave. And that pattern of air that travels across the earth can be a wide path. Oh, my pen's not writing. A wide path, or it can be a narrow path. And that changes over time, and that determines what weather or what is going over top of your area at the time. That can make a difference in weather. So all these things are predictions, and weathermen are wrong a lot because there's so many different variables that can change the weather. Okay, so the next part, air pressure is caused by the weight of air pushing down on the earth. On top of a mountain, you have less air on top of you, so the air pressure is lower. Okay, the next part says, and by the way, it talks about the amount of air molecules as you go up in the diagram. High pressure systems push air away from them. I'm going to blow this up. That's not really helping. Anyway, the push of air causes wind. You can predict wind moving from high pressure to an area of low pressure. The bigger the pressure difference, the faster the wind. So if you look at a pressure map, and this one's kind of a copy of one I'm going to put under here, you could predict, for example, an area of low pressure on this particular map is 1009. That's pretty low. And all around it, it's not much higher. But if you have an area like right here, 1023 to 1013, you're going to get a little wind moving from the high pressure to the low. So in this area between these two pressures, you could probably say it's going to be windy. Okay. Air rises in a low pressure area and falls in a high pressure area. In a low pressure area, the rising air cools, and this is likely to condense water vapor and form clouds and consequently rain. The opposite is true in a high pressure area, which is why high pressure tends to give cloudless skies. I was looking at the map of today, and we're here in Indiana in the highest pressure area anywhere, and we have very blue skies. Anyway, and no clouds, by the way. So you learned on Monday that air rises, and when it rises, it cools because the atmosphere is colder. So if air rises in low pressure, that means that it's going to be forced to cool, which would really make it easier for rain to form. On the other hand, if you have high pressure, it says that's the opposite. So in high pressure, the air would sink, which means that it would not be cooling and it wouldn't form rain. And another reason that high pressure does not form rain, it says high pressure also causes compression of air. This compression causes the air to warm. The warming of the atmosphere makes it hard for clouds to form, since clouds are formed by cooling that causes condensation to form. Therefore, high pressures usually mean clear weather. So there's a couple reasons why, actually three I think I've given you, why high pressure areas don't usually have much rain. And then the last thing, and then I'll go over the examples and you do the homework. Reading an air pressure map. The lines indicate the edge of a particular pressure. Each band is labeled with a number indicating how much pressure, kind of like the lines on a topographic map that indicates elevation. Weather systems tend to move in the direction from high pressure towards low. Okay, I can't really let this video get much longer, so you'll have to rewind it if you didn't get all those. I want to go over the samples so you can do your homework. The samples, it's asking you where the low pressure areas are. The lowest pressure on this map is 1,002. The highest pressure, I think, is 1028, and you'll see that in a few different places. Then it asks you, look at the high pressure spot in North Dakota. It's right here. It will tend to move toward low pressure. What direction is the lowest pressure? So from here, if it moves this way, it's 1021. This way, it's 1016. This way, it's 1009. This way, it's 1007. So it's probably going to move in that direction. And then the other example, rain currently over Wyoming, right here, will move toward what state next? Well, let's look at the pressures. And again, weather tends to move in an easterly direction. It can be northeast, east, or southeast. It generally doesn't move the opposite way just because of the direction the earth is spinning. But this weather here, it can go all these directions. So we'll look and see where the lowest pressure is. And it looks like the lowest pressure is kind of southeast. So it would probably move in this direction. If you have trouble with the homework, you can always open a U.S. political map so you can see what states are which. Rain over Michigan right here. Will head toward what state? Well, if it heads due east, it's going to hit the next state. Now, it'll go over Canada, but the next state it hits is New York. If it goes southeast, it'll hit Pennsylvania. And it looks like from Michigan over here is 1006. So directly east is the lowest pressure. So it's not going to go this way. It's not going to go this way. The lowest pressure would be directly east. So that would be New York. And the last one, what rain in Alabama will move to the southern tip of Florida? Here's Alabama's rain right here. It has 1,011. The tip of Florida, which is right here, has 1016. So it's not going to move that way. So if you keep scrolling, you have homework, and there's 9 questions.